Hello guys, and welcome to another profile tree video. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the fastest WordPress hosting. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So just before we get started, what exactly is recommended? Now, the fastest WordPress hosting depends on various factors. Now that includes your server performance, your actual location, caching mechanisms, content delivery networks, and the level of server management and optimization. Different hosting providers offer various hosting plans, and it's tailored to speed and performance. Now, I'm going to go through a list of different factors as shown on screen right now. So we've got our SSD, server location, caching performance optimization, content delivery network integration, managed hosting, and of course we'll take a look at the different other factors to consider. So anyway, we'll get started and we'll start off with SSD storage. Now, what exactly does SSD stand for? It means solid state drives. Now, hosting providers actually use this for storage to offer faster read and write speeds compared to the traditional hard disk drives, which is HDD. Anyway, I'm going to use a website, which is Namecheap, to demonstrate their hosting offer with the actual SSD storage. So we'll go ahead and jump into that now. So right in front of us, we've got Namecheap. They actually offer multiple different areas like domains, hosting, specifically for WordPress as well. So we can manage WordPress hosting or migrate to WordPress. What we're specifically looking for is the actual WordPress hosting, and we're going to go ahead and check the pricing plans. So here are the different pricing plans that they have. They've got Easy WP Starter, Easy WP Turbo, and Easy WP Supersonic. Now, do keep in mind that this is not the only hosting service that is available, which is Namecheap. There are plenty of other sources out there, so please do your research. We're just going to use Namecheap as an example, just to cover the SSD storage. So it's important to keep in mind what exactly you have planned for your website. So you've done the development, now you're looking for the necessary storage. So we can see right in front of us for the Easy WP Starter, we're looking at around 10 gigabytes of SSD storage. Now that would be suitable for any of these smaller websites. And of course, they do offer the 50k visitors a month and free CDN. CDN meaning Content Delivery Network, which we'll take a look at later on in the video. Now, the best choice that they have is Easy WP Turbo, and they've got that for the first month free. Again, same with the WP Starter. But they do offer 40 gig more for the SSD storage, offering 200k visitors per month, and it's got 1.5% CPU and 1.5 times more RAM. That's meaning that your actual website will perform better, meaning that it'll increase the amount of visitors that you'll get. You're able to take in that sort of capacity. So with the 50 gig, you're probably looking around a small to medium sized website. So that would be perfect for it, depending if you're running a non-e-commerce site or an e-commerce site, doesn't really matter. And lastly, we've got the Easy WP Supersonic, which comes at £15.40 a month. Now, of course, this all varies depending on the hosting service that you'll be using. Now, again, first month is for free. It's doubled the SSD storage, which is coming at 100 gigabyte, and we've got twice more CPU, twice more RAM. Now, CPU and RAM is important on top of the SSD. Of course, that is just to increase your performance and speed for the site. Those are your two main ingredients for a good website. And of course, we've got nearly 100% uptime guarantee. Again, free CDN, and what's great about this is that there's free SSL. SSL meaning secure sockets layer. So that's mainly to do with whether your website has HTTP and HTTPS. We've actually covered that in another video, so that'll be talked about in that one. But anyway, hopefully that sort of gives you an idea in terms with the SSD storage, and this of course will improve the read and write speeds, and that's compared to the traditional hard disk drives. So do research your hosting provider, make sure that they're actually providing a good service for each of the pricing plan. Now compare that to the bill yearly, you could see the big difference, and it looks like they do have 50% off on the first year. They tend to do this anyway for any new websites that are coming in and are looking for new hosting. Of course, people move from one host to another just to see what's the better plans, what's cheapest, while they're getting the best quality. And just to dig a little bit deeper in terms with the SSD storage, we have here another hosting provider, which is Ionos. So they've got WordPress, or specifically for WordPress, you can see WordPress hosting. We'll go ahead and take a look at their pricing plans and what they have to say about their hosting. So it's coming at around $1 a month. So we'll actually check the plans just to verify this. So again, we're looking around $2 a month for a startup. You get your one website, you've got 25 gig of SSD, they provide 9 gig of RAM, one email address, free domain, free SSL. So comparing that to the Namecheap already, you could see how much better Ionos is. They've also got malware scanning, and that's only coming again at $2 a month, so it is heaps cheaper. You've also got Grow, which comes with 50 gig of SSD storage, and then of course the last one, which is Boost, which is 75 gig of storage. So it is a little bit lower compared to what Namecheap has to offer, which their highest is 100 gig. That's why, as I said, it's very, very important to do your research in terms of what hosting you want to go for. Now, next up is the server location. Now, this is another very important step to choosing the best WordPress hosting, as you want to make sure that you choose a provider with data centers located near your target audience, and this is to reduce latency and improve website loading times. Now, do note, the higher your latency, the worse it does get. The reason why is latency pretty much describes the amount of delay on a network or internet connection. So poor latency means that you're not able to connect to the actual site, and if it is live, so if you're thinking about playing a game and you're lagging, that's basically because your latency is pretty high and you're not keeping up with the rest of the other players, if that makes sense. And having low latency implies that there are no or almost no delays, and then of course with high latency again, that implies that there are several delays. So just keep in mind that you should have or choose a hosting service that's near your location or near the target audience. So our next one is caching and performance optimization. Now, these are essential techniques used to improve the speed and responsiveness of websites and web applications. And what they do is they aim to reduce speed load times, enhance user experience, and optimize server resources. So there's actually a couple of different types of caching. So make sure you take a look at the different hosting plans that they have and what they can actually provide for each one. So our first one is browser caching. So by setting cache control headers, web developers instruct the user's browser to store certain resources locally, and this allows the browser load to cache resources from the user's device rather than fetching them from the server each time. And the next one is server-side caching, and this involves caching data at the server level to reduce the time needed to generate dynamic content. And popular server-side caching mechanisms include opcode caching, so APC, OP cache, and then object caching, which is memcache or Redis, and page caching. Now, there's actually different recommended caching services or hosting providers, that offer server level caching, and that'll be ones that are like Varnish or Nginx. So they're two good ones. And they'll be able to speed up the content delivery. But yes, as well as the caching optimization, you also have performance optimization. And this is when you want to maybe think about the actual best practices you could do for coding. So say, for example, you have maybe some unnecessary characters, loads of lines of code, plenty of white spaces from HTML and CSS or JavaScript files. Maybe you can think about reducing them, and that'll lead to faster loading times. And then, of course, you've got image optimization as well. So compressing, resizing images to reduce their file size without compromising the quality. And you could do some lazy loading as well, so delaying the loading of certain non-essential content. And that'll pretty much reduce the initial page load time. So plenty of different performance optimization that you can actually do for your website. So it could be from back-end code again, or front-end development coding, and then just reducing the actual code. So our next one is CDN, which is Content Delivery Network Integration. Now, a CDN can distribute your website's static content to multiple servers worldwide, and that'll reduce the distance between users and the content they request. Now, with CDN as well, in terms of caching, as we've mentioned before, it allows users to access cache resources from a server closer to their geographical location, and that of course will result in faster loading times. Now that's great for a website as well, so if you pick the best hosting for it and they provide that sort of option, then that'll guarantee that you'll get more page visits from different users from different countries as well. Now, just to further explain what CDN is all about, if we just scroll down and we'll take a look at a map here, just to simply explain the CDN itself, or Content Delivery Network. So basically what happens here, let's just get it there. So here we have our origin server, and of course we have our CDN server and users. So you can see from each continent or different locations that we have our origin server, which passes the same information to the CDN server, and CDN server being your content delivery network. So they're pretty much just taking and duplicating the information that the origin server is sending out to the CDN server, and then of course it'll reach the user. So it's pretty much all duplicate information from each section. So that in theory is how CDN works. So our next one is manage hosting, or manage WordPress hosting, and it's designed specifically for WordPress websites. And hosting providers optimize the server environment for WordPress, handle automatic updates, provide daily backups, and of course offer top-notch security. Now this type of hosting is well suited for users who want a hassle-free WordPress experience, and it'll be good for those who are starting off and are just beginning to actually use the different types of hosting services out there. Now, on top of that, there are other hosting services that are available, like shared hosting, virtual private server hosting, dedicated server hosting, and cloud hosting. And you've got other ones like WordPress multi-site hosting and the free and enterprise WordPress hosting. And just to go through it in detail, I'll go ahead and put it up on screen now. So starting off with the first one, which is shared hosting. And this is the most basic and cost-effective option. With this setup, multiple websites share resources on the same server, and that means that it will be affordable. However, the loading times and performance is limited due to the resource sharing. Next one is the virtual private server hosting, and that's VPS, and this will offer the highest level of performance and customization than shared hosting. And in VPS hosting, a physical server is divided into multiple virtual servers, and each will run its own operating system, and that'll allow more control over server resources and configurations. Then you've got your dedicated server hosting, and dedicated server hosting provides an entire physical server dedicated to a single user or website and offers the maximum performance, control, and customization. Now, a dedicated hosting is ideal for websites with high traffic and resource intensive applications. Then we'll cover the last one here, which is cloud hosting. And cloud hosting utilizes a network of virtual servers, allowing for scalability and flexibility. Cloud hosting can handle traffic spikes efficiently and can be a cost-effective solution for websites with fluctuating traffic. And as I said, there are other hosting services out there, which is multi-site hosting for WordPress, free WordPress hosting, which is good for people who've just started off, but it is limited to storage and bandwidth. And of course, you've got enterprise WordPress hosting, and that'll be for the bigger built websites. Now, in terms of other factors to consider, you maybe want to look at the HTTP2 and PHP 7 Plus support. So just double check whether the hosting providers support the latest versions of HTTP and PHP, and they can offer improved performance and faster page loading times. Make sure you have room for improvement, which is scalability. So a hosting provider that offers scalable plans can accommodate sudden traffic spikes and ensure a smooth experience for users during high traffic periods. Take a look for different hosting as well for server uptime. So check the uptime guarantee just to ensure that your website is available to users without frequent downtime. And of course, the last one would be customer support. So make sure you pick one that has reliable and responsive customer support, as it is crucial for your website, especially when you encounter technical issues that affect your website speed and performance. So there are other popular ones to choose for out there. You've got Kinsta, SiteGround, WP Engine, so give them a check if you want to, but there will be other good ones out there, so do your research and make sure that you find the specific performance for your website and the specific needs as well. It all depends on the size and complexity of your WordPress site at the end of the day. So again, just do your research in terms of the WordPress hosting. But there you have it, guys. That's the full circle of what you will need to check in terms of the WordPress hosting, all the other factors. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you did, please do let us know in the comment section below. But other than that, I'll see you guys for the next video. Thank you very much for watching.